Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix your robot vacuum cleaner if your mop pads are not getting wet. So this is a very common problem. I've seen it on several of my different robots. If your robot, sometimes if it's new or if it has sat around for a while, the water pump just needs prime. So if your robot is not mopping your floor, like whenever it's mopping, if the mop pads are not getting wet, this is how I'm going to show you how to fix it. Now, you are going to need this syringe. It's a plastic syringe. I'll put a link to it on my website, justadadapproved.com, and in this video down in the description. But what we're going to do is you could use a turkey baster, I think, and you can also use like a spray pump, like for spraying water. What it is, so this is for all kinds of robots. I've experienced this on Dreame, Mova. I haven't experienced it on Roborock yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't happen there also. So what it is there's a water pump inside the base station, and there's also a water pump inside the robot that's going to spray water on the mop pads. Now, these water pumps, if there's not water around the pump, it can just spin and it doesn't prime the pump and it's not going to suck water. So what we're going to do is we're going to prime those pumps. Now, again, I experienced this on the Dreame L10S. I think there's been a couple Mova P10 Pro comments I've seen people comment. Now, I have been able to fix this, and I haven't sent the units back. So we're going to get this. We're going to fill this up with water. So go to just normal water, fill it up with water. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to prime the robot. Now, we're going to take the mop pads off just so we can see the water. And right here is where the base station fills the robot up with water. What we're going to do is we're going to simulate that. You're going to push water right into the robot, you know, maybe about half that much, you know. You're going to see water coming out these ports where it sprays water on top of the mop pads. That's good. Don't hold them. I made the mistake one time of having the robot up like this, and I did it like this, and water kind of went down around the robot, and I got a little bit of water around the sensor glass. So I don't recommend doing that. Have it flat. It's just a little hard to hold because you got to kind of hold it, and you really want to force it into that port right there. Now, on other robots, the filling port may be in the alignment pin. It may be over here. Some robots don't have water pumps, like Narwhal and some of the Eufy robots. So Dreame, Roborock, and Mova, those robot Ecovacs, they have internal water pumps that spray water onto the mop pads. Okay, so we've primed this pump. Now, the one that's probably given us the most problem is the one on the base station. Here I've got, this is a Dreame base station. These base stations are all relatively the same. You know, Mova V50, it's a little bit thinner. But what we're after is the clean water tank, okay? You're gonna fill the clean water tank up, and I recommend pushing it up and down onto the dock a couple times. That's probably not going to fix it. But what does fix it is you're going to see right here where the water tank, there's a port right here. And you're going to take this syringe full of water. Okay, you're going to fill it up with water. You're going to push it right into that port where it sucks the water up from the clean water tank on the bottom. And then you're going to push. Now the base station will be upright like this. I'm just got this for demonstration. You're going to push that water. Now, what you're going to see is a bunch of water coming out in a couple spots. It may come out the refilling port. It may come out right here. You should get some water coming out of down here by pushing that water into that port, okay? That's going to prime this pump, and we've primed this pump. Now do a mopping only event or mopping and vacuum, and now it should be wetting the mop. You're going to notice right away, do you hear dirty water being sucked up into the dirty water tank? That kind of tells me, okay, the base station is working. If I have dirty water being sucked up into the dirty water tank when it's washing the mop pads and it's still dry mopping, then it's definitely this water pump inside here. Now, the ones I have fixed, I didn't have to send them back. They just kept working. And there's two things that cause this, I think. When a robot vacuum cleaner is brand new, sometimes they're shipped upside down, or they may be in storage for a long time. And what happens is they dry out internally. Also, the second part is I had a robot that I wasn't using for a while, and I let it sit in the garage for about 3 or 4 months, and it just dried out too. Once they dry out, you will have to prime these water pumps. Now, you'll see a little sign, little sticker here on them that says the units are shipped with water. And I have seen like water inside the, just droplets here and there. That's good. That means they've ran water through these things before they shipped them to prime that pump. So I don't think this is worthy of sending the robot back just because you have to prime it. Now, if you have to keep priming it, it's definitely worth sending back or sending in for repair. So I've had this happen when robots are straight out of the box. It's very frustrating. I felt like, gosh darn it, I got to box it back up and send it back. And that's kind of a big hassle, but I was able to fix it with priming the water pump on the base station. So again, if you prime it the first time, it should be good after that. If you have to prime it once a month, definitely it's probably going to need to be repaired. Something's going on, air is getting in the line or something. But after priming these, if it's still not working, you probably could have a bad water pump or something. So again, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. That's where you can also find my favorite robots. So I purchase robot vacuum cleaners with my own money. I review robot vacuum cleaners for a living. And this is home of the honest review. Since I purchased these robot vacuum cleaners with my own money, I can say whatever I want about them. I put them through my testing process. And at the end of that, if I don't like them, I don't give them my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. And I don't recommend them to you and my friends and family. So the recommendations you see on my website, justadadapproved.com, are recommendations that I give my friends and family. Prices are kind of all over the place. Robots, there's $1,000 robots, there's $300 robots. This Mova P10 Pro is just a sweet spot. Right now it's on sale for $400. We don't see that very often. It's just a great spot to jump in. I have seen in comments where people have had to prime the water pump on the Mova P10 Pro. I haven't personally. I've bought 2 of them, and friends and family have bought 3 or 4 of them now. I've seen it on the Dreame L10S. I think it was the Gen 2. The Dreame X30 I saw it on, but that one sat in the garage for a while. So again, I am an Amazon affiliate. If you purchase any of these products in my links in the video description or on my website, I do earn a small commission from that sale. If you click on the link, it's going to take you to Amazon. The product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. Again, this is home of the honest review. I want to prevent you from spending your hard-earned money on a bad robot. There are lots of robot vacuum cleaners out there that are not very good. And I have demystified the buying procedure for robot vacuum cleaners. I personally have purchased over 250 robot vacuum cleaners, and very few get my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. So again, my website's going to be the go-to place when you want to do the maintenance on these. I've got the maintenance videos. I show you how to change the filters, change the mop pads. I also have recommendations for generic parts if you're trying to save money. Not all generic parts are made the same, but I have purchased some generic parts that are actually very good so that we can save money. That's going to be on my website. It's being improved. Right now it's very basic. That website is going to be tremendous, hopefully here in the next month and a half or so. It's taken quite a bit of work, but the work I'm doing on that website is for you. I want that to be the go-to place for robot vacuum cleaners. You can find when robot vacuum cleaners are on sale. You can find out my review. So if you're thinking about buying, I want to buy the iRobot Roomba 405. Well, you can see my review on it, and I don't approve of it. In fact, I don't approve of any iRobot Roombas right now. So again, and I'm able to say that because I purchase these with my own money. Robot manufacturers don't have a say in anything of what I say in my videos. The only time once in a while I do reach out to them is I want more information. So sometimes I'll reach out to Mova and say, hey, how does this thing actually, what is going on with this sensor? Sometimes I'll talk to them and say, give me more information because I want to get that information to you. So again, justadadapproved.com. I've got more fixes coming out. Since I review robot vacuum cleaners for a living, I get quite a few comments on my YouTube channel. This has been popping up recently about once a month of priming the pump. I've got some others. I've got a procedure if your dustbin is filling up, if your dustbin won't auto empty or if it's filling up too quick. That's a written procedure on my website, justadadapproved.com. It's kind of not a complicated procedure, but it's got some steps in it for putting it on different schedules and stuff. So I just want to be your go-to place for robot vacuum cleaners. I want to pass on my knowledge and my expertise to you because I do think this is the future. I love my robot vacuum cleaners at my house. I don't vacuum anymore. We don't mop our floors anymore. The robot vacuum cleaners do it for us. So again, thanks everybody. Justadadapproved.com, and this is how to fix your robot vacuum cleaner it's not getting the mop pads wet. So again, thanks everybody.